Hello and good morning to no one in particular. Hi, it's MA. Um, I'm going live because one of the reasons you have not seen any videos from me is my camera is completely out of memory. I have no way to save and upload a video. So this is not being made with any thought that people are joining in, and I don't edit anyway, so this is what you get all the time. So, hi everybody. I just thought I'd give you like a little tour of what's going on tarot wise with me. I've just kind of started to get back into watching some people's videos now and then, and tarot's still been a large part of my day and practice and life lately. Hey, Dan. Hi. Yeah, so I just thought I'd pop on and make a video because I have no other way to upload one right now. So happy question mark 2025 to everybody. I hope you're all doing okay. Um, so here's what's going on with my decks. I've been watching a few people talk about their practice and what they've been doing, and I think I might have been peeking out, like, I probably had around 120-ish decks in the house. I've given a bunch away, and what I've done is I've put a lot of stuff in boxes, and I think now I have 40 tarot decks on the shelf and about 20 oracles, and it's in a very small space because I throw away large boxes for mass market decks, so it's not taking up a lot of room, and I'm just trying to see if I miss anything that I put away. So for the most part, I'm not getting new decks, but there were a couple of exceptions last year. So I did back three Kickstarters, if you want me to flash those at you really quickly, one of which I've used and the other two I've barely touched. So the first one I picked up because I am a Cedar McLeod completionist. Um, I picked up the Magic Pantry Tarot, and I think maybe that flew a little bit under the radar with people. Cedar had been making this art, showing the process on Instagram for many years, and I think it's adorable and it reads really well. Whoops, I'm not used to doing lives. Magic Pantry, Magic Pantry. So it's all food based, which I've always wanted to get a food based tarot, and someone put one out which was see how bad at this I am, which was kind of cool, but the one of the suits, like the pentacles, oh my god, I'm the worst. The pentacles were oysters, which I found kind of gross. Um, but anyway, yeah. So I think this one reads really well. It's adorable. Um, the book is even pretty good. So oh my god. Okay, I'm inept. This is really fun for me. Okay, so that's deck number one. Deck number two is something I was aware was in the works for like 3 or 4 years, and it was originally going to be an Octavia Butler deck, but it turned out to be the Lineages of Change Tarot, um, which is a collaborative deck. It focuses on the work of like Black luminaries, writers, artists, and thinkers. So far, I would say like the book is really interesting. There's stuff about the card, then there's a quotation, and they all have a plant associated with them. This is a collaborative deck, but not with a ton of artists. I think maybe 4 or 5. Hey, hello. Um, I don't usually do live, so this is a little bit inept. I'm sorry. I'm just showing a couple of Kickstarters I had backed. This is the Lineages of Change Tarot. It's collaborative, but not by a massive number of artists. I think 4 or 5 or so. And again, I still have the straps and the cards. Um, I thought Black History Month I'd take it out, but honestly, I'll get to it when the time is right. And that's that one. And then the third, this was like, these are all well, with one exception, I only got 4 decks in all of last year. I did back the Cave of Sybil Oracle by Tierra May. Oh my goodness. Okay, I think it's because I have the whatever. Okay. This is an oracle deck that is pretty crazy and intense. And if you go look at tarot readings from a bitch, her, video about it is pretty great. Um, yeah, so it's a pretty intense deck. The keywords are on the back of the cards. Yeah, and yeah, so that's that one. Again, I've barely touched it. I think I pulled one card. I think this is going to be a one card, hardly ever kind of deck for me. So that's that. Yeah. So I saw that Marlena did a post about 25 decks. Oh, and hi, Joe. Did I say hi? Hi. About 25 decks she wanted to work with this year. I don't have that many, but I did pull out the ones that I really have in mind that I kept in the stack from the culling that I want to spend time with. And Kelly Bear did Tarot Advent in December, where you stayed with the same deck for 25 days and did a like a 3 card reading with it every day. And then when you get to the 25th day, you'd have 5 decks. Yes, Joe, I only got 4 decks last year. And, you know, I feel great about that actually, because I'm going shopping in my stack. Um, so I used the Spirit Keepers Tarot Revelation in December for the 25 days. And then I continued that into January. I used the Druidcraft for 25 days. And I am pairing them with an Oracle, which I kind of usually flit around with the Oracle decks, but this time I'm really keeping the same pair for the 25 days or until the cards run out. And it's really given me a good way to get to know these decks that I was just pulling off the shelf and using for like a few days at a time to read 25 days in a row with a deck is really I'm really enjoying it. So I used Spirit Keepers. Sure, you could ask a question. Spirit Keepers and Druidcraft so far. So now we're in February, and I am using a deck, of course, that we're not doing readings though, just so you know. Um, so I'm using a deck that I bought like a year and a half ago and have not used at all, which is whoop, the William Blake Tarot of the Creative Imagination. Yeah, thank you for popping in. Yeah, we're not doing tarot readings. We're talking about our like personal use of tarot decks, but thank you for joining. Um, it's okay. So, yeah, I don't know if people have seen this deck. I put off using it because everything is oh my God, everything is renamed. The suits are renamed, the majors are renamed. It was a little bit overwhelming for me, but I'm finding now that to slow down and do a reading every day with it um, is pretty fun. So, what my practice looks like on a daily basis is I do a single card draw in the morning, and this is what my tarot journal. I love that it's just a mess. It's words, right? So I do a single card. I write down some notes about the card, and then later in the day, I'll do like a some kind of spread, three or more card spread, and the forthcoming book review that I haven't done yet is I have been working with this Tarot for Creativity by Chelsea Pippin Mizzi. And I don't know what to say except that it's really great. Like if you have a creative practice, this book is for every card, there's a spread and a meaning that's really specific to creative work. So I will be making a book review of this, but I'm combining this William Blake deck with the spreads in that book based on what card I pick every day. And yeah, that's been great. So I'll just quickly go through the other decks I pulled off the shelf. So the fourth deck that I got last year, I don't remember if I showed this before, but I did finally get the Shining Tribe Tarot. Yeah, I hope so too, Deanne. You know, we make space when we can, right? To do our creative things. It's not always easy. Yeah, so I picked up the Shining Tribe Tarot. You know, I did go to Omega conference last year for the second time, and you know, I really just love that space. If anybody ever has questions, or if anybody goes to Reader Studio but hasn't gone to Omega. I've been to Omega and not Reader Studio. It would be fun to kind of have a chat about the differences and similarities. Um, but one of the people that teaches at Omega and continues that teaching through the year is kind of Rachel's heir in terms of carrying on her teaching and the legacy of this deck. And I have joined the Exploratorium group where we meet once a month and do practice readings together and other activities with this deck. And it's been really nice. If anybody's interested in that, drop me a note and I'll fill you in. I'm taking a really slow approach with the Shining Tribe, and I'm really getting a lot out of doing little that work in a group once a month to hear other people's relationship with the deck. So that's really cool. So that's one of my kind of deep dives, but that's a slow burn across the year. So I pulled out like maybe 5 or 6 other ones, decks that have been underutilized. Um, and they mostly are based on books that decks that have books that I haven't looked at all. One of which, okay, is the Cosmic Tribe. I think I picked this one up. It was cheap when I bought it. People were talking about it. The cardstock is terrible. The cards are kind of loony, and I did kind of pre-edit so I could show you a few cards. Basically it's a Thoth deck, but it's kind of like 90s club kids Thoth deck, with lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of nudity. Although I put, the edited card selection on top of the stack. So I've spent no time on Thoth ever, and I thought it might be fun to use this, several like for a few weeks in a row and just play with it and see how I feel about it. I don't think I want a standard Roth deck. I don't know. Okay. On the majors in what's her name? Lady Jane. I don't relate to those paintings too much. And also on the majors, there's a certain word in the background of the name of the majors that I don't want to see as part of my spiritual practice at this point. So if you know, you know. Okay. So that's all we say. That's all we say about that. I'm sorry, I talk fast. Okay, here's another one. The Enchanted Tarot. And I think here's my issue with this deck, and it's my own fault. Is I got the edition that came with the ginormous cards, and then I trimmed them. And I trimmed them before I really knew the deck at all. And my trimming was very enthusiastic and included removing the titles. So I got a little intimidated because I realized I didn't even know what card I was looking at. So my bad, my bad. But I actually do like the deck. And it turns out the book is kind of a treasure. And I think when Phyllis Carrot made the Witch's Wisdom Tarot, she used this format. I mean, this book kind of proceeds where there's kind of a dreamy narrative about the card, a divinatory interpretation of the card, and then there's like a spell, or they call it an enchantment. So I really think this is one that spending a few weeks um, doing readings with the cards is going to help me, ingrain what actually I'm looking at. The thought is triggering for many. I take much joy in using a deck against the creator's wishes and chopping off the titles. That's a good idea, Joe. And I think if I get one, then once I know the cards, I would definitely do that. I really like reading with decks that I know well enough, and that it's not a sacrilege or destruction to take the title off. Like for mass markets, I love doing that, especially. Love it. I put some things out of reach, so pardon me. Whoops. Um, Another kind of gem of a deck, and I think of this as a more summery, springy deck that I like to pull out, is the Radiant Tarot. And this is another one where the guidebook is a little bit similar. If anybody's used the Kantaji Oracle, where there's like at least a 3-page entry for every card, including creative exercises and writing exercises, and there's astrology in it. It's a pip deck that's like pips with feelings, and like many of these mass market decks, I throw away the boxes um, for the sake of space. So yeah, it's a pippy deck, Ace of Swords, Two of Cups. But see, they're quite pretty. Nine of Wands. There's a lot of animals, and then when we get to the court cards, um, yeah, the majors are animals. There is some of that animal head on human body, um, but I think for me, yeah, it's not my favorite choice. However, I can't handle that. What is it? That Curious Creatures one where it's more photorealist, but because these are drawn, it doesn't freak me out. But yeah, that's another one with a great book, and looking forward to spending a few weeks with that. Then let's see what else. The other one I pulled out is the Gentle Tarot. Uh, I pulled this out to work with because, I think a lot of us are having a kind of tender year. There's a lot of things, and I've pulled out a lot of decks to be working with that are a little intense and kind of probing. And a lot of times the questions and the spreads I'm using are a little probing. And I don't want to burn myself out or start feeling like I don't want to go there. And I figured if I do, let's step back into some more kind and gentle types of readings and types of cards. And this deck is just so sweet and but not cloyingly sweet. It's sweet and the book is wonderful. So I thought that one might be useful as well. And I'm in another divination study membership group. It has no virtual presence whatsoever. And we've been talking about ways to read cards. Ooh, Terror of Oneness, Diet. Yeah, I don't have that one. I've seen people walk through it. That looks like a good choice too. Um, yeah, in this divination group, we've been asked to kind of when we pull cards now, even if we don't regularly read for people, to think about the cards in the context of care, and if someone, even yourself, was in a time of difficulty and unrest and unease, like what is the message of care in that card, even if it's a difficult card. Um, so that's like putting a new slant on my card pulling. I really am enjoying thinking about that, and it's really adding layers onto card meanings and readings. Yeah. I think I pulled out three other tarots that I don't have a real hard copy book for. One of them, I guess, in kind of related to that Cosmic Tribe deck, is this Asherah Tarot. That is another Thothi tarot that I think is telling me I don't need. Maybe if I just get a Thoth book and don't get the Lady Jane deck, I probably have enough going on. I don't know why I don't use this more. Because I could just read it as a pip deck, and I really love the art. I mean, I really like the art. The colors, it's just a poppin' little deck. I mean, look at that. Yeah, it's gorgeous. So I pulled that one out to do more readings with. Hey, Julie. Yeah, no, thank you. Yeah, my funny reason for doing a live is I don't have enough room on my camera to make on my phone to make videos. So and I don't edit anyway, so we're just kind of winging it here. Hey. Yeah, so that Asherah Tarot, like this is the book, right? It's just these little cards with meanings on them. So that one I haven't spent much time with. So it really is like by putting all so many decks away, I feel like I'm going shopping. It's like what is it, like the capsule wardrobe, but it's the decks. And also Lilifer. I haven't used in a little while. And I have the first edition where some of the titles are kind of messed up and some of the cards you can't really tell what they are. But really, whenever I slow down and use it, I get really good readings from this deck. And I do really like it. I think I put away the Reclaim Oracle. I'm just not interested in using it. But this deck, I really, really do like. And it's just a matter of me paying attention so that I can tell what card I'm looking at. Because that's what holds me back from it. It's not knowing what card it is. Oh, that's Joe. Unexpected self-care, humanity over productivity deck was Tarot del Fuego, mass market, no guidebook. Is that the one with all the eyes? I've seen that one. Someone was just showing it in a video I watched. Very cool. Yeah. Um, and I think the last tarot I pulled, yeah, all the eyes. Yeah, Tarot del Fuego with all the eyes. The last tarot I pulled out to use a little more is the Game Marseille. And I don't really know how to read Marseille, but I have the electronic guidebook, which I could just open that on my computer and look at it, right? But I do find a lot of joy in this one, in the colors. Um, yeah, I like that I love this one. Um, it kind of is such a the color palette and the people is still got like the characters from the Marseille and the layout, but it just seems more modern and joyful and diverse. I mean, the moon as a lesbian pool party, come on. Um, yeah, good time. So I'm gonna use that more. And I think that's kind of it. I think, oh, I pulled out some more. These are the oracles that I either use the most. There's three that I use the most and one that I neglect perpetually that I pulled out. So I have the pocket version of Coastal Curiosities that I use a lot now. And I use it if I am doing my 3 or multiple card reading, especially, and I don't have a question or a spread in mind. I'll just pull out a couple of these and then layer. Sometimes I'll pull the oracle first with this and then pull cards after. And I kind of fly that way. So that one gets a lot of use. Again, I think I mentioned I'm a Cedar McLeod completionist, so I use this Threadbound Oracle a lot. I know, it's set up with kind of a suits or whatever, but it doesn't matter. It's just, um, every card has 3 keywords, and I do find that they resonate in a reading. 3 key, so 7 of Tapestry, interdependence, wisdom, ancestry. So these layer into pretty much any readings really nicely. And then, okay, this is my Superstar Oracle, and it's this Poesis deck. I think somewhere online there's access to a bunch of little poems. I don't mean little in a demeaning way. I mean little as in short poems for each deck, but I just use it without a guidebook. It's a black and white or kind of cream and white oracle deck with a single keyword. And there's just something always happens when I use this in a reading where it just always resonates with something that's in the other cards. This is my favorite card, the Joy card, Licking the Rainbow. It's like a Skittles commercial. Yeah, so I use this one a lot. It just does something where it'll be like the way someone has their arm bent, and the oracle will be the way someone has their arm bent in the tarot card, and it's almost a little creepy. It's almost a little creepy. Who's having a good time in the chat? Okay, good. And the last one, that's in a recycled Matchbox, is this Roots and Wings little baby oracle. Oh, Joe got the Poesis. Oh, I didn't know they had a mass market. A mass market in French? Oh, that sounds awesome, actually. I would like to get an oracle with French keywords. Um, this is the Roots and Wings, the little pocket, whoop, pocket mini oracle, which I neglect all the time, and I don't know why. I don't know why. Oh, oh, Deanne says, oh, whenever you pair anything with the Chris Cran's The Archetypes Oracle and Weird and Awesome Parallels. Yeah, that deck too. I tend not to use that one combined with tarot readings. I have like a whole nother situation I use with those cards. But yeah, I could see that that would totally line up with tarot readings too. Um, yeah, I underuse this deck. I think maybe, because it's so wee and tiny, I think it might go nicely when I start using this one because they're opposite. So that's how I like to match the decks up sometimes. Ooh, Deanna's recommending using a Celtic cross with Roots and Wings Oracle. That's a great idea, especially with the small version. I'm going to do that like immediately. Yeah. So that's about it. I was just popping in to say hi because, again, no way to upload videos. And since um, I'm always so lo-fi anyway, just thought I'd go wing it live. So thanks for stopping in. And I think that's all we've got for today. I will come visit you soon on your channels. Have a good day, everybody. um, I just always, oh, Deanna's saying this should be my new normal. Yeah, I could use a new normal. So maybe this is the way to go. Okay, bye, everybody. Have a good Sunday.